and slice it in half so you can see that lovely cross section. Now I was really surprised because despite the horrible toppings, this came out really good. So good, in fact, that I'm on a sort of diet where I don't eat many carbs or cheese and stuff, so I decided I was going to have one half and walk away. Then I was like, nah. Slice it up and check out that cross section. Then eat it as fast as you can before your coworkers steal it. Chop this guy up, slice him in half, and take at least 20 minutes to stop and stare in wonderment at that cross section. This sandwich was designed to be enjoyed with a tall, cold beer, and I am in no position to argue. Is it the world's greatest sandwich? I can't say for sure, but I can say that it was totally worth the 12 hours that it took to make. Hawaiian burger. I was just gonna dig in, but I thought we all deserved to look at that gorgeous cross section. And anytime food is this stringy, you know it's gonna be good. But as is tradition with any and all sandwiches on the show, we must see the cross section. You can see that nice layer of melted feta in the center. Now this one was really good, but what would Bob make if he were in a burger making competition? So with our toasted bun and slice in half to reveal that all important cross section. Now I might be cooking my burgers a little bloody for some taste, but this is how I like my burgers. The next burger, however, you don't really have much of a choice, for it is the meat saya, like so. Now on the left here, we've got the version with the refrigerated tartare, looking pretty good, and then on the right we have the frozen tartare, which looks a bit more raw. It looks like this one's a little too low, so the refrigerated tartare wins. It's going to depend on your oven and about a billion other factors. Temperature aside, with all these delicious ingredients in one place, you're going to end up with something tasty. Achieve maybe the greatest cross-section in the history of this show. You can't hear me, but I'm giggling like a little girl right now because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to actually take a bite of this thing. It's not exactly physically possible. But I'm no quitter, so I'm going to slice off sort of a piece of this sandwich and try to roll it into a shape that I can fit in my face. Now, I was a little stunned by my first bite. It was a lot of flavors and textures all happening at once, but it was a pretty damn good sandwich. For dinner that night, I took it apart and ate it in pieces like a 4-course meal. Remove from the plancha once browned and crispy and the cheese is melted, slice on the diagonal, tear it apart, and dig in. Now this was far and away one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life, one of the best things I've ever had in my life, but then again I'm a sucker for Cubanos and Jon Favreau. A bun, and there you have it, a Krabby Patty with the works. Even kind of looks like that one in the training video, right? Normal fast food burger protocol would be to just dig in, but I haven't been able to do a cross section in this show in a while. That's a big relief for me. Try to contain your embarrassment over the fact that you've overcooked the patty, but celebrate the fact that this burger is a symphony of flavor. You guys know me, I don't clean my plate unless it's really good, especially because these things are going straight to my thighs before I blow up. Divide in half, cheers with a friend, and it's time for first impressions. I honestly thought that this wasn't that bad. It was kind of like carnival food.
I was 100% sure that was going to be disgusting. That is not disgusting.
From the mold and slice in half so you can get the cross section to end all cross sections. So you remember last week when I said it was the cross section to end all cross sections? Well, I lied. This is the very antithesis of a raised game pie, and it's got the layers to prove it. If it's on this show, it's going to get cut in half, so we can take a look at its pleasantly purple cross section. Home. If you think I'm not going to get a cross section of this thing, you must be new around here. And take a look at easily what's got to be one of the top 5 sandwiches I've ever made. Top 3. Now I know that Hydra are a bunch of really bad guys, but if they started serving these things in the cafeteria every Tuesday, I'd join up. They have a cooler logo anyway. Our other burger bun, and of course, get that cross section. This tastes about as good as it looks, so I think we can do better. And again, it's cross section time. One that features more flavor and variety and no buns soaked in meat juice. This turned out absolutely amazing, especially the Himalayan ketchup. I hate homemade ketchup, and this stuff really blew my mind. Now, Chef AJ, this is an ultimatum. In fact, I think you are a chump. Necessary, but it turned out to really keep everything contained, which is no mean feat when you consider all the shapes and sizes of this sandwich's contents. And as is the case with most exercises and sandwich absurdity on this show, this tastes pretty great. It's a whole bunch of fantastic appetizers and semi-compatible flavors jammed together. In fact, if I weren't so carefully watching this show's impact on my waistline, I might have eaten the whole thing myself. Dollar store jelly beans. Gonna try and do our best here to achieve some kind of cross-section. It's, exactly what we expected it to look like. Try to make a bite featuring all 4 toppings, and as you can imagine, this tastes insane. Degrees Fahrenheit internally. Let rest for 15 minutes, and then slice open to reveal the fruits of your labor. A moment of silence, please. Slice in half on the diagonal. Remember, we want to see all these colors. And to get that stretch, you got to sort of wiggle the sandwich together and then pull apart. I know it's not made of actual crayons, but this is a Ralph Wiggum sandwich that's actually good enough to eat. Honey egg, freshly baked bread, and a soupçon of bacon fat. Even with the 4 dud loaves, this was, in the end, worth the effort. And you can tell because it's the recipient of the coveted 2018 Binging with Babish Clean Plate Prize. And now, what we all came here for, the cheese stretch. A moment of silence, please. Let's take a look at the cross-section here. Nothing really to write home about, but we have to do it according to the Binging with Babish bylaws, and not only will this be more impressive to your dinner guests, but also it's going to make, I think, for a better cross-section. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, now that's a cheesy blaster. Let this guy rest for like 10 minutes before cutting into it, otherwise you might burn your little fingers, ow, and dig in, making sure to document a hearty cheese stretch. This is, after all, a cheesy blaster. And, of course, here to help me induct it into the Clean Plate Club is the Tang Gang. And mercifully this results in a sandwich that can christen in the new kitchen with its first cross-section. Not half bad, a whole bunch of melty cheese and crispy, juicy beef, some flavorful toppings, and some unorthodox, but I would say on-point cheese and spice choices on the part of Bubble Bass. As you can see, the sandwich is not structurally sound, but it is tasty. All in all, this patty melt was a great way to ring in the new kitchen, with or without pickles.